Now, a guy who was in a very funny position. Wayne, I've done some research into this. I was researching all night last night, actually, for this topic. I'm really, really excited. And my mind is blown because you got Evander Kane. We're going to NHL hockey right now, but not talking about hockey itself. So Evander Kane had to declare bankruptcy, and this was mostly relating to gambling, my understanding. We
Yes.
got Robin Lehner, the goalie, over in Vegas, who's sitting on IR right now, collecting his $5 million paycheck. And the guy that I said the Leafs should acquire because he's a guy who put him over the top. They did acquire him at one point, but then flipped him right away to Chicago. I'm not understanding at all what's going on with this guy. And now news has come out. There's so many facets to this story, Wayne. So Robin Lehner's declared bankruptcy. He's apparently his assets are 1 to 10 million, but he's up to $50 million in debt potentially, and that's his bankruptcy. So we're talking about mainly related to his reptile farm in Plato, Missouri. Okay. Plato, Missouri. So doing a little digging now last night, I found some interesting information about all of this. So first of all, Plato, Missouri has a population of 82 as of 2020. 82
82.
people.
Oh, I thought you maybe 82 snakes.
No, 82
Okay.
residents in Plato, Missouri. Going on realtor.com, I can see that 15% of the housing in Plato is up for sale right now as we speak. You can buy a house under foreclosure for $64,000 US dollars. Most of the houses there are around $100,000 to $150,000, and you're getting about 1 to 20 acres of land. But then I stumbled upon this farm for $2.5 million for sale. It has a done-up kitchen to the nines. In its bedroom, it's got a treadmill. I think we found Lehner's farm. I think it's up for sale for $2.5 million in Plato, Missouri. Now, to add to all of this, so he gets this farm going, this reptile farm in Plato, Missouri. Don't know why he's over there. He buys $1.2 million in exotic snakes from an individual. Turns out that individual was murdered by his wife. Now, the estate of the snake farmer has claimed that Lehner has not paid his bills on the snakes. Plus, he stole some anacondas from the snake farmer. Wade, you can't make this stuff up if you tried. What is wrong with Robin Lehner? I know he has mental health issues and he's overcome a lot, but $50 million in debt, snake farms in Plato, Missouri, with a population of 82, stealing anacondas, murdering farmers. Why is he involved with all this, Wayne?
So first off, let's not snake shame. Okay. Some people are really into reptiles. I'm not really into reptiles, but let's not snake shame Robin Lehner.
I've watched South Park. I know some people like snakes. Absolutely.
It's a very strange situation. And I read a little bit last night about the murder case, which is this guy's wife or ex-wife and her boyfriend at the time are charged with shooting the guy while he was taking the garbage out, apparently because they felt like he was going to try to take their kids and they were splitting up or something like that. And he had the money to do it. Apparently this guy,
he had 1.2 million from Robert Lehner, who
he was pretty damn successful and he was looking to sell the business. Right. And the thing I don't quite understand though, is that, so I've seen the 1.2 million. I've seen Robin Lehner complaining that because the snakes were just sort of let to do whatever they wanted to do, as snakes will do, that it's decreased the value of the snakes because they were breeding with other snakes they shouldn't have been. And I don't know if we can talk about that. This is a family show. But how do you get to 50 million?
Like $50 million. Well, hold on. Robin Lehner had the farm in Plato, Missouri, with the population of 82. 3 of those residents were the caretakers of the farm. So he had 3 employees going. I thought they were taking care of the $1.2 million in snakes plus the stolen anacondas. So I don't know. If you take a look at this farm, it's very impressive. It is up on realtor.com for $2.5 million. I can't verify for sure that this is Robin Lehner's farm, but taking a look, like this stuck out like a sore thumb. It looks like an NHL player would go and design a farm in Plano, Missouri. So I'm pretty sure it's a Lehner farm, but I could be wrong. I, first of all, how do you even end up in a place like this? And second of all, as an NHL goalie, and then making your contract money, why do you put that kind of money into snakes? And what was his game plan there?
I can only think, like I said, from what I read, it looked like there was some sort of discussion that Lehner might buy the entire business, right? And you know what? If you're a guy who's got a fair amount of money and you have a love of reptiles or whatever else, that's a legitimate business, just like anything else. But I think that if you're going to be as charitable as you possibly could to Lehner, I think maybe he just got into a situation where this guy was mixed up in some other stuff, and his wife and that ex-wife and her girl or boyfriend took the guy out, and now Lehner's kind of caught in all of that, right? Now, how he ends up in Plato, Missouri, which 82 people is, not a lot, but it's not the smallest town in that area either, I guarantee you, right? It's only 20 miles from Fort Leonard Wood, by the way, which is one of the biggest bases in the United States. That's a huge military base. So there's a lot of people in that area, but there are lots of little towns like that too, right? My guess would be if you found that farm there, that is the farm, because there isn't going to be another one like that in Plato, Missouri. I mean, it's not that far away from where I grew up, right? So, the question is, who the hell is Lehner's financial guy? How does he not looking at all this? I guess Lehner's financial guy is Robin Lehner and his wife.
The people named in the suit were Lehner and his father.
Father.
So,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Is this a Jack Johnson situation, right? So
Evander Kane had his issues. Evander Kane, it's funny. I was talking to Dan Milstein, the hockey agent, when he was on the show, and he was saying, he's got to prepare presentations and try to woo, high profile clients to come and join his agency, right? Evander Kane reached out to Dan Milstein and said, Dan, I need you to help me ASAP. Evander came to him. Reading Robin Lehner's story, I'm thinking Dan Milstein's involved with this. There's no way he's going to allow this kind of crap to go down. This is
right.
And the company that lent Evander Kane money to be used towards the gambling is the same company apparently that lent Lehner the money to be used towards the reptile farm or the purchase of the snakes. So there's a few creditors out there. It's not pretty, and not pretty, but pretty. And I don't know how much mileage he has in the tank as far as overcoming this. I think bankruptcy is his only way. And the second he got hit with the first $4 million lawsuit, he's like, screw this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But on the same token, it's like, when you're making that kind of money, you're making $5 million a year, maybe go down to the mall, get a couple of snakes, get yourself a tank, maybe just keep the $5 million a year, invest it, collect the interest on it, live off the interest. Maybe don't go get $50 million in debt. Like, something happened here. And I don't know how much more the debt is beyond the snake farming, but I'm telling you, this story ain't over yet. And it's not good. And Lehner, considering the issues he has had in the past and been outspoken as far as mental health goes, I'm sure this is not great for his mental health. He's going to have to come out and speak about this at some point, and I can't wait for that story, and I hope he writes a book about it.
Well, my question is, where else Carol Baskin in all of this? Did she know that dude who owned the reptile ranch? We should be asking her some questions too, shouldn't we? I feel bad for Lehner. I mean, I feel bad for anybody in this kind of situation. I also wonder, it's pretty tough to have a whole lot of sympathy for somebody who has $5 million a year coming in and decides to blow it on a snake ranch. I hope things work out for him. I don't know. I'm also curious about the company that lent the money to him. Is this one of those? I mean, is this some sort of predatory company that they're going to find out that this had some crazy interest rate, or basically it's like a payday loan place for athletes where they're like, okay, well, you have your paycheck sent to us, and we'll give you the $2 million now, and you'll pay us $3 million over the course of the next 2 years or something, and you get yourself into that revolving door if you can never catch up, right? So you can never get out of debt. if they're loaning the money to him and they're loaning the money to Kane, it kind of makes me wonder, right?
When an athlete, a rapper, or movie star, whatever, when they go to purchase some jewelry iced out, or they want to go and do up their cars, Wayne, they don't always have the money sitting in the bank. When they go to borrow the money, the lender doesn't say, I don't know if that drip chain is the best investment on the planet. They're like, how much do you need? Okay, 10%, 15% interest, no problem. 20% interest, we're good to go, you know? So I think it's one of those situations for sure, where probably the interest is over accumulated the original principal long ago. So we wish Robert Leonard the best on this, and the story is still writing itself.